Everyone. In last classes we have discussed about the structures of operating system. There are mainly three types of operating system structures. First one is layered structure of operating system, and second one is monolithic kernel structure of operating system, and this is the microkernel structure of operating system. Okay, we will discuss about this third type of structure of operating system, that is called microkernel structure. Microkernel systems were designed to solve which are the problems faced by monolithic kernels and also layered structure. This microkernel architecture always aims at keeping minimum functionality within the kernel, but at the same time it also provides the abstraction for a complete operating system by designing and implementation. It is not that difficult to give the task and get the result. It makes very simple. It makes very easier for the user to complete the task, and in the meanwhile it also creates a free environment and easy to kernel also. In microkernel, the user services and kernel services are implemented in different address space. So there will be no bombarding or collision between the address space, and there will be no problem or there will be no sharing of address space, because user services and kernel services are implemented in different address spaces, where the user services are kept in user address space and the kernel services are kept under kernel address space. So it also reduces the size of kernel, because in the kernel address space only the important functionalities will be there, and the remaining all will be shifted to the user space. So this is the diagram of the microkernel operating system structure. So where one hardware will be there, virtual memory scheduling will be there. So all these things will be situated. Only important task or functionalities will be done at the kernel space, and the remaining all things will be done at the user interface. The functionalities like process scheduling, inter-process communication, or thread management, all these functionalities were included in the kernel address space only. These are not there in the user address space, because these functionalities are important to the kernel. So that is why these functionalities will be included in the kernel address space only. However, all these functionalities like memory management, file management, I/O device management, and also networking, all were not included within the kernel, because each of these functionalities will be implemented through separate server process. There should be no burden in the kernel, so that is the reason all the functionalities like memory management, file management, networking will be included with the other separate server process, and this server process resides outside the kernel system in the user address space, not in the kernel address space. Here all these functionalities are divided, isolated, and they are executed without any problem. The user process acts as a client here, and based on the application it will work. And whenever user process need to do something, it sends request to the required service process and wait for a reply. That is means as a client it sends request to the kernel if at all it needs anything, and then kernel, from with the support of the kernel, it executes the process and it gives the result to the user. And here microkernel uses inter-process communication, which sends the user request to the specific server. So completely user address space is different, kernel address space will be different, but still they communicate with each other to complete the task. The server processes the request and sends back the output to the client, that is nothing but user. So since kernel is a core part of the operating system, it has to maintain or handle the most important services only, and the most important services will be situated in the kernel side only. Okay, rest will be at the user mode, and they should able to interact with each other to complete the process. Okay, and it also provides minimal services of the processes like memory management, everything. And if at all anything happens at the user side in the user address space, then operating system remains unaffected, as they are both are isolated. So if anything, if user server fails, it will not affect the kernel, which is the heart of the operating system. And it also adds one of the advantages in the microkernel, that it is easily extendable. Means new services can be added very easily, and they are added to the user address space, and they are not added to the kernel address space, user address space only, because kernel address space is maintained very simply and easily executable. Okay, so it requires no modification in the kernel space. Kernel is safe here. If anything happens at the user mode, only user side is affected but not at the kernel space. So that is the reason it is also told that it is easily portable and it is secure and reliable. Coming to the advantages of the microkernel, so the architecture of the kernel is very small and isolated, hence it can function better because it is small, and it is easier to add new functionality, or it is easy to modify existing functionality in the microkernel system. Minix, OS X, AIX, all these are the examples of microkernel operating system structure. And here system is very reliable, because fault in one server process will not halt the working of entire system. If one system is affected, that will not disturb the kernel. Other process, or all other processes will continue to the work. So that is why it is very easy, and it is easily portable to different computer platforms. And expansion of the system is also very easy, because here you can add anything into the system without disturbing the kernel, and any chances to the kernel tend to be fewer since the kernel is smaller, so there will be no problem. And minimal functionality within the kernel makes the kernel small and easy to maintain. All the things which have to be done, processor or resources, everything will be done under the user space only. So kernel is maintained small, so there will be least chances of affecting the kernel. And it also provides security, reliability. Coming to the disadvantage, we can say that there is only one disadvantage is about this microkernel, which is like you can not much concentrate on this, because it is only simple one, and it will not disturb the kernel, or it will not disturb the operating system. So that is why that is the reason the only disadvantage in the microkernel operating system always removed, or you cannot people will not concentrate on this. That is, it has slow execution rate, as higher interprocess communication and context switching is involved. Why it is slow means everything will be not situated in the kernel space, everything will be situated in the user space only. So whatever the process user wanted to execute, every time it has to take the permission from the kernel side, because kernel is the heart of the operating system. So every time user have to take the permission from the kernel. What all the processor user have to do, process management, file management, resource management, IO devices, everything will be done at the user space very easily, but it has to take the permission from the kernel. And here kernel will also accept everything, and it will also give the permission to every activity which user will done. but still it has to take the permission. So this makes the system little bit slow, and this gives a late reply. This will give the late result. So that is why it is said that it is little bit slow in the execution process. This is the only disadvantage there in the microkernel structure of the operating system. But this only disadvantage can be uh, mm, you can overlook this only disadvantage, because all the advantages are of the microkernel operating system gives benefit to the user. So that is why this disadvantage is not bothered at any time in this operating system structure. So this is all about advantages and disadvantages of microkernel structure of operating system. This is the third type of operating system structure. So all the three structures now we have discussed: layered structure of operating system, monolithic structure of operating system, and microkernel structure of operating system. The only disadvantage that I have not mentioned here, because that disadvantage will not create any problematic situation. So that is the reason I did not include. But if any time you wanted to know about disadvantage, then you can Google it. But I can say that only it is little bit slow. That's it. Okay, this is all about the structures of operating system. Thank you.